What's happening, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Thanks for joining me. If it's your first time, please smash that subscribe. If not, thanks for your support. You guys rock. This is my 2008 Saab 9.5 that I purchased off Copart. If you aren't familiar with the video or the channel, this car has 43,000 miles on it, and I purchased it with a smashed up rear end. And as you can see, we have this beauty back together. Now, I am unfortunately a little upset, but it's okay. Here's why. I had a bunch of good B-roll footage. I installed a brand new exhaust. As you can see, it's on there, but it's not 100% lined up yet. And that's because it's not 100% done. Just so you know, what I ended up doing was I bought a used exhaust system, and what I didn't do was one side I drilled out the studs that were like kind of welded in place from the heat and age. And then on this side, I ended up just cutting the bracket off of the flex pipe. In short, since I lost the footage, is I bought a split flange to try to, you know, go over the exhaust pipe and reattach it to the downpipe of the car, and life would be great, right? But the store and anywhere online doesn't actually sell a big enough split flange to work. So there was two things I could have done. I could have cut the end of the flex pipe off and tack welded on a flange, or what I ended up doing was doing it right, was I actually purchased a brand new flex pipe, because the one that's on there's already got 60-something thousand miles on it, and as anybody knows, those flex pipes tend to go bad. So I just played it safe and bought a new one. Under the hood, which I talked about previously in the last video right here, is we redid the valve cover gasket on this car, and the reason why it was leaking was, as you can see, this check valve, which I've done a video on, I'll link it right here, is a $10 part or a $40 part, depending on what model year you have. In this case, it's a $30 or $40 part, where it comes in one piece like this. And when these things go bad, it builds up the crank pressure, which could blow your engine if you don't monitor it, or number two, just leak and blow your seals. So in this situation, it had just gotten to the valve cover gasket, and we replaced that, and we're also going to replace the check valve so it prevents it from doing it again. Here's a picture right here of what it looked like previously, and so let's get going, guys. And when the flex pipe arrives today, which should at some point today, we'll install that, and this baby will be on the road. Another Saab saved. Got it. Another cut, but I got it. So now, I'm gonna route this up carefully. Not so bad, just a little patience. But here we are. Everything's back to where it needs to be and attached. I'll throw a zip tie around this just because that seems to be like there was one, even though I don't believe there needs to be one. And she's good to go. Because we're really close to getting this car on the road, and I just want it to be ready when the flex pipe comes, is I'm gonna go ahead and get this paint off of the windows so we don't look so bad driving it around. So here we go, guys. Yes, it's here, guys. It's here. Now I can start the car. Okay. Alright, guys. Look at this. I saw him out earlier and I was like, you got a package for me? He's like, no, I don't. And I'm like, yeah, you do, but I don't think you really understood. But, yes. Yes! That's what we need. This clamp right here, guys, is the one that I cut off like an idiot. And let's get this car started. I'm gonna finish this because I'm almost done. We're gonna get this car started. Let's do it, boys. All right, boys. We're gonna go ahead, pull the old one off, and install that new one. Alright guys, moment of truth here. You just saw me wrestling with that exhaust. I absolutely hate exhausts. The clips that got cut, like working on an exhaust, especially on the ground like this, is absolute worst because you're working with steel and metal and it's got to be precise, and if it's not precise, good luck. Yeah, it's not fun. Alright guys, first start of the rebuild completed. We are complete. I know, happened so fast, but first start, here we go. Dude, this thing sounds brand new. Listen to that. We got a fresh check valve in there, so we have normal compression. We have a new valve cover, so there's no more oil leaks. We degreased the bottom end of the engine, and the last thing we're gonna do now that we can get the car on is we're gonna degrease the top of it. But listen to the exhaust. The car is silent. It's awesome, guys. Really, really awesome. Wow. Very cool. All right, I'm gonna turn this off and get under there and just tidy up a couple things before it gets too hot. But there you go, guys. It sounds absolutely amazing. Very smooth. It's like barely even, let me close this. There you go, guys. All right. Alright guys, so now that we have the engine running and we clean the bottom of the engine, and I want to degrease and clean the top now, so we're going to start it up and do that. Just so you guys can see the before. Obviously when I took the valve cover I cleaned a lot of the oil off. You can see some of the remnants, but you can see all that dust and debris, so we're going to get all that cleaned up. I cranked the engine up. There's no oil leaking anywhere. Everything's running really nice. Everything looks brand new. And really happy with the way it looks. Alright guys, so we are taking our first drive. In fact, I'm not going to waste too much time. I definitely want to feel the suspension, how the alignment is. So we're gonna take it on the road and get some speed going. I don't even think I need to go and get an alignment done. The car is smooth. I don't feel a single vibration. I didn't even realize I was doing 70 miles an hour. That's how smooth it is. Oh, baby. We got a good one here, boys and girls. Wow. If the rotors are warped in the front, it could be still from the rust, so we'll give it a couple hard brakes and see if that fixes it. It takes some time. And if it doesn't, then we'll go ahead and put new brakes and rotors on. Not that I really wanted to, but a lot of times when these cars are sitting in the cold weather on, you know, at the auction sites, they could be sitting there for a couple months. So when the temperatures drop drastically, you know, even when it goes from 20 degrees to 40 degrees, that 20-degree difference every single day, it ends up eroding the metal on the rotors if they're not being spun and driven. So even though the rotors may appear to be new, the weather temperatures could warp them. So, but yeah, she's running good. That was almost a full throttle to 75, and the reason why I'm doing that is to clear the pipes first off, but I want to also make sure that we're not getting any oil leaks up there, so I want to build up that crank pressure, even though the crank pressure shouldn't be built up because we have a new check valve. Yeah, boys, we have officially saved another Saab. Guys, so we just left the inspection station. Jersey gives you 14 days from the date of registration to inspect. So I just went ahead and got the inspection done just to see if it passed. I didn't pass. Two reasons why. One was the catalytic converter, and the other one was the evap system didn't fully check out with their system. And I am 100% sure it's because I just put the new exhaust on, and in between the new exhaust and not, I tried starting the car, and of course it idled, it idled oddly, as I mentioned earlier in this video. So that could have thrown the catalytic converter out of sync. And then the other one was the evap system, which we just replaced the check valve, which is part of the evap system. So that check valve and all those things that I replaced could be causing an issue there. Of course, he didn't give me any code, but I know what to do, and I know that's not an issue, and I know that in the next 6 weeks, because that's what I have 6 weeks to get this thing fully inspected, which obviously next time around will pass, and should be good. I'm not nervous about it or upset about it. I didn't really think that would happen because I don't have any lights on the car, but I guess their system does more of a thorough check than the Saab's, which is weird. But you know, if there was a real problem in the next week or so, I'll have a check engine light, or within the next 24-36 hours. So not to worry, I'm not upset about it, but I will say this: the brakes are now rust free and they're not vibrating like they were, so that is good. So I'm gonna end off this video here. We got a lot done in this video. In the next video, I'll probably be doing a little bit more detailed work on this. I'm gonna put a ceramic coating on it, and that should finalize this build. So thanks for your support, thanks for watching. If again it's your first time watching this video on my channel, please subscribe. If it's not, thanks for your support. You guys are awesome. If you have any questions or comments, please drop them below. Check out my links, merchandise. I just launched a merch line. I know my coffee mug's got a little turbo on there, it's pretty sweet. So check it out. See you later.